What's up, family? Welcome back out of the darkness. I am Q, and I wanted to come and talk to you because I've said it. How many times can I say it? The Chinese have set up shop in the United States. I've said this over and over again. For those of you guys that follow me over at outofthedarkness.locals.com, again, outofthedarkness.locals.com, that's where I say all the things I can't say here without fear of being canceled. So anyway, let me get into this. So the reason why we say fake news, the reason why we talk about fake news is not because necessarily we're hearing fake stories. Sometimes it's because we're getting fake stories, but even more often, we're being fed what the media wants to talk about as opposed to the really uncomfortable stuff that they don't want talking about. They talk about the things that say, look over here, as opposed to saying, yeah, we've got some real big issues in front of us. So this was a conversation that was had on the 17th. Christopher Wray sat in front of the Homeland Security hearing. And he said, I'm very concerned about this. We are aware of the existence of these Chinese police stations, Wray told the Senate Homeland Security Affairs Committee, acknowledging that the FBI's investigative work on the issue, but declining to give details. The FBI is aware that the Chinese have set up police stations around the United States, their own police stations. Now, the interesting thing is I've been talking about this for quite a while now, but unfortunately, it's been a conspiracy. And now they're saying, you know what, we're really concerned about it. But please explain to me the timing of this. The very week that the Justice Department says we are launching an investigation into Donald Trump. We're launching an investigation into January 6th and all these things. We're launching that investigation. All the media wants to discuss is that investigation. I'm not here to argue whether or not that investigation should or should not be done. But we actually have a real life invasion in our own country, and no one is wanting to talk about it. But then he goes on to say, this is Christopher Wray, he says, but to me, it is outrageous to think that the Chinese police would attempt to set up shop, you know, like in New York, let's say, without proper coordination. It violates sovereignty and circumvents standard judicial and law enforcement cooperation processes. First of all, why would they be setting up shop in the United States, period? That violates all sovereignty exactly. Coordination, what type of coordination do you think the Chinese care about? These are the same people that require our companies here in the United States to abide by their standards before we do things here in the United States. For example, before we can release a movie in the United States, the Chinese have to scrub it and make sure there's nothing that could possibly be anti-Chinese about it. COVID, we weren't allowed to call it the virus from China or Chinese virus. Why? Because it was bad juju, or it was bad optics for the Chinese. We are constantly doing things in our own country in order to make the Chinese more comfortable. In fact, I'll probably get in trouble for this video simply because I'm saying something negative about China. But the ludicrous statement, I'm sure they wouldn't do that, even though the Chinese were accused of doing this in the Netherlands. They said, no, nothing to see here, that hasn't been done. Then the Dutch did their own investigation and found out, yes, there are these law enforcement agencies, secret law enforcement agencies by the Chinese being run in the Netherlands. Then they came back and says, oh, those aren't law enforcement agencies. Those are just agencies to help people fill out their immigration paperwork here in the United States or in the Netherlands. So aren't embassies for that? Aren't consulates usually for that? Why are these secret stations being set up? And if that's the case, why had to say that from the beginning? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever to me. Guys, it's frustrating that we could hear about everything going on with investigations on Donald Trump and every single Republican, and we can hear about Twitter and CBS pulling out of Twitter and all these types of things. But when a bombshell story like this comes out, that our own sovereignty as a nation is being violated by the Chinese government and it's swept under the rug and lesser stories are put in our face, it really begs to question, what is the purpose of the media today anyway? Let me know what you guys think. Comment below. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Guys, help me, please. Help me build this channel. We build it by your interaction with it, liking, sharing, and subscribing. We'll see you guys next time.